Hi, you're watching Bent TV and welcome to The Film Whisperers, a show where two movie nerds talk all things film through a contemporary lens. My name is Matt.
And I'm Saj.
So, Saj, we've been looking at the quite frustrating IMDb list for the top movies of all time, according to IMDb users and reviews and ratings. We've kind of let off some steam about the ones that we didn't like, and also kind of given some credit to the ones that we did. So now, inevitably, we get to the WTF category of our show, where we talk maybe about, I guess in this instance, movies on the IMDb Best Movies of All Time list that, you know, are a bit different, or surprise inclusions on the list for better or worse. Maybe kind of just strange additions, ones that we wouldn't expect. um, yeah, I think we'll cover that. So, Saj, when you looked at the list, were there any that stuck out to you as being a bit like left of center, or ones that you weren't expecting there?
Well, I was going to say, I think the entire list is a WTF, to
True.
be honest.
Good point. Yeah.
But no, look, I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you. So, what would you reckon is your WTF movie?
Well, my WTF one, I only say this because, yeah, like you said, the rest of the list is so, oh my gosh, that like I was actually surprised to see this in there in the top 20 as well. And also because it's a very recent movie, but Parasite, which obviously won, swept the Oscars a couple of years ago, I think deservedly is in like the best movies of all time list, which is great. But it almost feels like an outlier because there's all these kind of like very uniform, homogenous movies in the list, and then you've got Parasite here, which is not, doesn't focus on a straight white dude. It just feels like a different movie, and I like that. I like that it's on there, and I love the movie as well. So I think that would be my WTF one. I also like it too because even though some of those other movies, like Godfather, Goodfellas, even the ones we don't mind, like Forrest Gump or Interstellar, like they all focus on different themes as well. But I like that Parasite in particular kind of looks at class and people and privilege in a way, and people from lower classes kind of trying to get back and take over the lives of these rich people. And it's just like, I mean, if any of our viewers have seen it at home, I'm sure they can agree that it was a great movie. But yeah, I like that that's on the list. So definitely, that was a WTF one for me, but a pleasant surprise. I'm assuming you've seen Parasite,
Well,
right?
yeah, of course, I've seen it a few times. Well, Matt, I think Parasite is an absolutely amazing film, and it was groundbreaking even at when it won all these Oscars, because it was the first time that someone with an Asian background uh, won all these awards and got all these accolades for it. Uh, however, I think this is my belief that the reason as to why it managed to make its way to this list is because it still follows a very Hollywood formula of storytelling. So people watching this film can still watch it, and it's not too out there for Hollywood. So the whole topic of class, for example, the way they speak about it, it's relatable. And I think that's why it managed to make its way. So in a way, it is diverse, but it isn't at the same time. It's racially diverse, that's true, but it's the formula that it follows. It's not too it's not too out there.
That is true. Like I would agree that like it's not like an experimental movie by any stretch. Like it kind of fits into kind of neat conventions, but I still thought the story was a bit different as well. Like I kind of liked how it kind of took you on a few different twists and turns. Like it was unexpected in that way. Like it wasn't like, to me it wasn't a predictable movie like some other Hollywood ones are. Like when I was watching it, I was like, I'm wondering where this is going, and it kind of had a few twists and turns, which I also appreciated. Whereas like some of those kind of more Hollywood ones sometimes are just very predictable. Like you already know how it's going to end when it begins. So yeah, that would be my pick anyway. But what about you, Saj? What's your WTF pick from the list?
Number three on this list was The Dark Knight. Now, to me, this is a WTF moment because it's a superhero movie, and I would not have expected a Batman film to end up on this list. Now,
Yeah, good one.
is a large part of those votes because of Heath Ledger? I don't know. I'm thinking yes. But if Heath Ledger, hadn't passed away and hadn't left that imprint on the movie, would that film be as popular?
I actually haven't seen the movie. Do you like it? Is it good?
Look, it's really long, to be honest. It's long, but in terms of performances, Heath Ledger and the Joker, it's iconic. And if you watch it, you will know why. He definitely, he definitely brings what the Joker should have been in terms of a comic book representation. And his portrayal has made it really difficult for other people who played that character since to live up to. So, like last year, for example, or was it the year before, Joaquin Phoenix played the Joker in a standalone Joker film, and he got compared to Heath Ledger. And in my opinion, you couldn't even compare it because the Heath Ledger just set the bar really high. Is it worth a watch now? Maybe. It's worth just to see Heath Ledger's performance.
I feel like just take The Dark Knight out of the IMDb list and replace it with Batman and Robin, because I'm all about, the Batman and Robin installment of the franchise with Uma Thurman and Alicia Silverstone. Like, I feel like that was my favorite Batman movie. I haven't seen The Dark Knight, to be fair, but, you know, Batman and Robin would be in my top, IMDb list, because I think that deserves more kudos. But maybe I should check out The Dark Knight. I know, yeah, you're right. I know that, Heath Ledger's performance is considered really amazing in it, so maybe I should check it out for that.
Having said that, it's not the best Batman performance, in my opinion, in terms of villains. I thought Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman in Batman Returns was the best. She nailed that role. And so I would also put Batman Returns in there rather than The Dark Knight. But again, a lot of those female villains, like Uma Thurman as Poison Ivy, was amazing.
I don't know. Maybe it was before I even knew I was like queer or anything. But I felt that like Uma Thurman's kind of camp betrayal. Like I just really connected with it, and I thought it was really really fun. But yeah, sorry. Just going back to what your initial point about the movie, why you kind of chose it as your WTF one. That is quite surprising that like a superhero movie is the third in that list. Like, well, that's really high. I mean, I know actually superhero movies like all anyone is about these days. Like they just keep churning them out. But like for it to be on like a top movies of all time list, that's quite impressive. But like, yeah, maybe like you said, there could be something about like, Heath Ledger's iconic performance and then him passing away, and it's kind of like created this kind of life of its own for the movie, which might have kind of elevated it in a way as well.
That's all the time we have to talk about the IMDb 20 best movies list. You're watching The Film Whisperers on Ben TV.